podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
I'm Bourbon PDL.
And we are live from Kentucky.
Really?
You look like Joe Biden, dude. You
Are
can't
we-
see him on the camera, but you look like Joe Biden.
We have a producer today. That's impressive.
I know.
Yeah,
he
we do have a
looks like Joe
producer
Biden.
today.
I like it though. Yeah, you're solving like COVID and inflation.
delay.
You know,
Oh.
you forgave school loans, which is nice. I like that a lot.
Should have changed over by now.
Well, we are. Oh, maybe it's changed over. We're trying to figure out how to use YouTube Live as we speak.
There's a YouTube Live. That's a thing.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
there it is.
There it is. We're up.
I didn't know that was a thing.
We're on.
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
do you live on
your
YouTube?
face is right
Streaming
there.
on YouTube.
Why do I look so fat?
Because you are.
It's because the camera adds like 45 pounds to me.
All right,
Very
so we're going to recap our trip so far. We went to
So
3
far.
distilleries yesterday and today. We got one more tomorrow.
Yeah, we got
We're almost
hard
done.
truth.
We are almost done.
We're almost drunk too.
What are we
are.
drinking right now, by the way?
What are we drinking?
Alcohol.
Cooper's
We're
Craft.
drinking Cooper's
The
Craft.
crowd said Cooper's Craft.
So I think you can only get in Kentucky.
I think so too. Yeah,
I've never seen
I
it.
think
in
you can
Illinois,
also only
so
get drunk in Kentucky.
That's a
you
lie.
can only get. Yeah, it's fine. You can only get 7 kids in Kentucky.
So what did we do yesterday? We did Woodford Reserve,
Yep.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace, and James Pepper.
James E. Pepper.
Yeah. So let's
In
talk
Lexington,
about
Kentucky.
let's talk about yesterday first.
All right.
What was your favorite out of those 3?
The alcohol.
The alcohol.
I
Any further input?
I second that. You know, I gotta say. So okay, let's we'll get serious about the distillery. So we went to Buffalo Trace, which is it's great. It's historic, 200 years running. But I don't know. It was a little commercial this time. I've been to Buffalo Trace before. It wasn't as commercial as it is now, but it was still good. You know, just walking in the grounds is just historic as hell. You see Warehouse 1 in the background. That's great. That's Mash Bill 1, by the way. That's what the guy said yesterday. I forget
Yeah.
the tour guide. Then we went to Woodford's, a little smaller operation. It's not as big. You know, the warehouses are not as widespread, but it's tucked into the river, which is beautiful. Within the hills, the trees.
Like probably one of the more picturesque places we went
Very
to.
picturesque. And then they walk you down to the rick houses. They walk you down to the fermenting house, to the bottling operation, which is great. Beautiful. And then we went to something that was 180 degrees, which was James Pepper, a little more boutique, right?
Yeah.
It was a small operation, boutique. They bought this beautiful James E. Pepper facility, which at the time it was the longest of its day. It was a mile long, went on Manchester Road. If you went from one end to the other, it was 1 mile.
Went through 4 different bankruptcies.
Yeah, and burned down. 4
Yeah.
bankruptcies. So all of that to say that everything had something unique. Buffalo Trace, the history. Woodford, just the location was beautiful, and James Pepper, the boutique, intimate feeling of the tour that they give you and everything. I don't know. Woodford, I think I would pick Woodford of the 3.
Okay. Dan?
I would say the tours we did yesterday, Woodford probably ran the best tour, which hurts because I wanted Buffalo Trace to have the best tour.
Same.
And like you talked about and other people have talked about, it's gotten commercialized. And probably the reason for that is so many people want to go to Buffalo Trace.
And it's hard to get in.
It's not like that's the problem is like if you're Buffalo Trace, it's like all these people want to give you money.
Yes.
Do you adapt and make it possible for all these people to come through and take their money? Or do you just be like, no. We don't need that money.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, I agree.
Wait, what was yours?
I think I actually liked Pepper a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
We got to taste whiskey out of a barrel, and
That's
we
my
got
first-
to taste the White Dog, which were both really good. Like for a 160 something proof
No, it was
White Dog.
It was a 130 proof.
I thought
Yeah,
it was 160.
No,
No,
160
no,
is what
because
me and Roberto had at Rush Creek. That's why Roberto was scared.
Oh, okay.
And,
well,
I talked to her about it too. Yeah, she's like, yeah, it's
130.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's still pretty high.
It is
But
high
I mean,
still,
that
yeah.
for a White Dog at
yeah.
130 proof, absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
Really, really good.
Still have my wristband on from.
The old fashioned at Pepper was phenomenal, and it was the
good.
it's the real old fashioned recipe from the Waldorf Astoria
Yes.
cocktail book.
Yes.
So it's like, there's no extra fluff in there.
Nothing.
Pure old fashioned.
And it don't specify what whiskey it is.
It doesn't
just says
specify.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are allowed to use bourbon or rye in
Yeah.
an old fashioned, which me and Roberto agreed on.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, that James Pepper 1776 rye that they use.
It's good.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
It's really
so
good.
It was so great.
Yeah. Yeah, Pepper was cool because we went to 2 massive distilleries early on.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
to go to that was the smallest one we toured.
Yeah.
By far.
But
I
they
think.
still put out a ton of volume.
Yeah,
Well, and
I
then
mean,
just the history.
that's always available by us.
Yes,
So
it
I don't
is.
know if it's just
Sam's
because we're
got it.
regional or if it's or what, but
Yeah.
I mean their volume for how small they are is pretty impressive.
And we both got the barrel proof at Sam's, so Sam's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or had it. I don't know
Yeah.
if he still has it, but he saved a couple of bottles for us in the back.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, here.
The barrel proofs
Oh my
were a limited release, but they were amazing.
They're about ready to come back out. We saw them in
Yeah.
the cases.
I
Ready to get
walked
shipped.
by
in
them.
like another couple weeks, I think
Yeah.
she
I
said they were
walked
going
by
to
them
ship.
in the
so,
boxes. That was so cool.
yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
for Pepper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah,
it was good. I gotta say,
yeah, go ahead.
well, Buffalo Trace, again, I've been there before. It was a kind of a different tour. It was a little more exclusive, so they did a great job. They put us down in the bar. We walked into the Blanton's room. Even yesterday, they took us to the Blanton's room. When
Yeah.
I went the first time, it was actually being produced and bottled and labeled, so that was pretty cool. But yesterday, when we went, it reminded me a little more of like Disney World. It's like it's commercial as hell. You go in,
Yeah.
you get in the line to check in, you go to the tour, then you go to the shop. I don't know. It was historically such a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing those brick houses from 1892, whatever the hell it is, with the brick and the fungus growing on the brick. Beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that when we were going to go to Buffalo Trace, my expectations were kind of low because I thought it was going to be very kind of like Disney World
Commercial,
or whatever.
yeah.
But like our tour guide Eugene was awesome. He
Yes.
did a really good job. But when he was describing the output that they currently do and what they're going to do with the $1.2 billion expansion,
Yes.
it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like to the point where I'm wondering why I can't find it.
Yeah.
Well, like they said, they're gonna have the one still they have is the continuous still, and it's 40 feet tall by 7 feet diameter.
Yeah, which is
40
mind-boggling.
feet tall. Holy
So when
shit.
I did the conversion, it's just over 65,000 gallons per.
What is it in
still.
centimeters, though? That's the conversion we need to know. People
Why
will
do you,
understand
why are you so
centimeters.
you think it's gonna sound bigger in centimeters?
I don't know. Sometimes I try that trick.
It's 7 feet wide.
I'm sorry, it's not 7 inches, but
It's
it's
plenty
4
big.
centimeters. And
I mean,
girls
but
are
that-
like, "Oh, that makes sense."
That's like astounding. This by far the biggest still that we've seen.
Yeah.
on
And
the
they're adding
trip.
another one, so you're gonna have 130,000 gallons a day
Yeah.
of
So
distillate.
how
Incredible.
tall do you think the still at James Pepper was yesterday? That was tall as shit.
That was
25.
25, but like today at Bardstown, they said theirs was 40
That
feet
was worth
tall.
40.
yeah, but those
And
were
Having Hills are
2
40
and a half
feet tall as well.
But those are only 2.5
Yeah.
feet in
Yeah,
diameter.
the diameter was
maybe.
small. Yeah.
You know,
sometimes
I mean,
it's about girth.
It's the motion of the ocean,
You want it.
not the size of the ship.
It's not the centimeters, Roberto. It's the girth.
It's all makes all the difference. That's why nobody's complained so far in 43 years or 2 or whatever it is.
All right. All right. So, tasting wise,
I mean-
anything that particularly stood out?
Tasting
Stood
wise,
out.
So
Let me speak English.
She's kind of like me now. You give Jake 48 hours of drinking and he can't speak English anymore. Tasting wise, okay, so let's recap. I'll recap it in 45 seconds. Buffalo Trace, we tasted Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, which by the way, I did not know it was 8 years.
Yeah.
I thought it was 6.
I
this
thought it was
whole
too.
time. I thought it was 6, and now it makes sense why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Love Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
And then we tasted Eagle Rare, which is a 10-year, and then blends, which is a 6-year, right?
Yep.
6?
Yep.
And then we had bourbon cream and a couple of other things. That was fine. Eagle Rare is one of my top 5 best bourbons on my list. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
Blends is great. Blends is good and whatever. Everybody likes blends. But Eagle Rare to me is like one of my top 5.
Yeah.
So that was good. At Woodford, they gave us the regular bourbon, so it's like the 32.
Your 45 seconds is now up.
I know. I'm like 47. Woodford, we had the regular bourbon, we had the rye, and then we had the double oaked.
Yes.
So double oaked at Woodford was for me the best because
And we
love
had that
double
peach
oaked.
cocktail, which was fantastic.
That was so freaking good.
What'd they call that?
That was so really good.
Porch swing. I think it was a porch swing.
I think so. Yeah, and we finished with that. That was the last
Yeah,
one.
which was really good.
As you're talking about Eagle Rare, your wife is wearing her Eagle Rare shirt.
She's
Yeah.
wearing an Eagle Rare shirt. Yeah. And I'm an Eagle, and I'm rare.
And then what was left? Pepper.
And then pepper. We only tried 1776.
We tried straight from the
bourbon
barrel, which was a rye.
and straight for the barrel. Yes, that was.
That was
so
100% rye
That's
mash
also
bill
the only
out of
white
the barrel.
dog we tried yesterday.
We
Right.
tried, and their white dog. So
The
that
white dog
so
was a bourbon.
fantastic. It was a bourbon.
The barrel, straight from the barrel, was 100% rye.
Yep, it was rye.
And then in the tasting room, it was their 1776 rye and 1776 bourbon.
And bourbon. And the one straight from the barrel, which was one of the unique and really cool things about James Pepper.
Yeah.
Is that she opened the barrel, like, here, let's try it.
Yep.
That was so good. So
Yeah,
anyway,
really
that
good.
was my favorite.
Yeah, I would say
Shrilly.
It's really freaking
The
good.
thieving was probably my favorite. Eagle Rare 2, Double Oak 3 would have been my top 3 from tasting.
Yeah.
The other day.
Double oak was great.
Yeah, I'd probably go with. I gained a new appreciation for Buffalo Trace, the bourbon.
I did too. Yeah.
So I think I might put that at number 2. I'm gonna go with that pepper straight out of the barrel at number 1.
Yes, completely.
Then number 3, I think I'll go with the Woodford Rye, which I was actually really surprised at
was
how
very
much I
good.
liked that. That was pretty good.
completely agree. I have 6 or 7, probably more, bottles of Buffalo Trace, and I've been drinking it like nothing. Like, oh, this is great. Let's open the Buffalo Trace. It's available. It's great. I think I'm going to be a little more discerning with the Buffalo Trace because, one, it's an 8-year. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And it is so freaking good.
So
Then
you're
I'm
gonna
going to
switch-
save it a little.
Are you going to switch one of your 10 bottles of Eagle Rare then?
Probably. Yeah.
It makes you think twice about making an old fashioned.
Yes, it does. 'Cause
Hey, it
even-
makes a really
even-
good old fashioned.
Even Eugene said yesterday, it's like, hey, Buffalo Trace, I don't mix it. I drink it neat. I drink it maybe with an ice cube.
I will say the best joke of the day, because there's a lot of bad jokes yesterday and today.
Wait, by me or by the tour guide?
Yes.
All involved.
But well, it was like the guy at Buffalo, Eugene, was talking about how to drink, like everyone can drink their own whiskey the way they want to drink. And someone said like pouring like a really, like Eagle Rare or something into a Coke. And one of the, was it?
Well, he was saying, you know,
Yeah.
like there's no wrong way to drink a bourbon as we were about to taste the Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
And I was like, but never with Coke.
Yeah. And if you put a Coke,
But who is it from Buffalo Trace that had that comeback?
It was
There
Elmer.
Gene.
It was Elmer T. Lee that had a comeback of someone asked him what happens if they put their product in Coke, and he said that's a really damn
That's
good
a really
Coke.
damn good Coke. Oh, man, that was fun. The history of
So
Buffalo
now no
Trace.
one can make fun of me for making the Blanton's old fashioned.
No, I'll still do that.
I've made a blend old fashioned before.
Yeah. So Dan's the only one, so he's the
Yeah.
outcast.
Yeah, he is an outcast. Yeah.
I'm fine to be outcast in that group and just drink it straight.
That was so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the blend old fashioned is so freaking good. Just because it's good, you know, it's good bourbon. It's 6-year
Yeah.
weeded.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's great.
Well, I mean, and like, you know, I mean, it is incredibly well crafted.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a really good bourbon. But like, you know, in the 80s, that was like well whiskey.
yeah. It was
know.
what you just poured. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's great. It's available.
So there's
everywhere.
been all kinds of fashions made with Blanton's.
Yeah.
So Dan can't make fun of us anymore.
Freaking Dan. Woodford, you know, again. I got to pick Woodford. just
Again,
'cause
again,
it's
again?
so- again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking for 12 hours straight right now, so that's pretty good. We just came back from Four Roses, and we'll get into that in a second. I'm drunk. Like, I don't know if I said that. Woodford was my favorite day one. distillery.
Yeah.
The tour, the history. It's a newer bourbon. It's what, like 1983?
1994.
94?
Yeah.
It's a newer bourbon, but the history of the distillery itself that I did not know until yesterday, that a family bought the distillery and they threw parties out there and they just ruined it.
Yeah.
And that sucks because holy shit. I don't know. That I just, again, I've been to Woodford before, but this time I really appreciated it.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Woodford was incredible. It was really neat to see like a newer distillery contrasted with
Yeah.
really old distillery like Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
And then like what they called today a resurrected distillery,
Yeah.
like Pepper.
Like pepper, yeah.
Yeah, which I think was dormant for like 40 something years.
Yeah, it was
Or
what
close
did
to
they say,
40 years?
1980 something. Shut
Maybe it was
down?
like 30 years.
Yeah. It's like 83, I think it shut down. And then in 2000 and what did they say, 12? They reopened it. I forget what the date was.
Yeah.
But it was like 30 years. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just pretty cool to see.
Pretty amazing. And the city of Lexington owned it the whole time. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah.
either.
Like
That's
the
interesting.
city of Lexington just owned it, and somebody's like, all right, well, I'll buy it from you.
Yeah.
Great. And I'll buy the the KY number, the DP
Oh yeah, because they got what number
number 5.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The history is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've been to Napa Valley. I love wine. I love going to Napa. It's just so nice to see the distilleries. I mean, the wineries, but the oldest winery that you will see is like 50 years old. Mm-hmm. I've been to Inglenook, which is a very historic winery. I've been to all the old school wineries, which are 50 or 60 years old. These things are 200 years old. You go to a distillery, there's a 200-year history of making bourbon, of selling it, of producing it. It just doesn't compare. There's no comparison. It's great.
Well, and I think, we went to Buffalo Trace, Pepper. Today we went to Four Roses
Yep.
and Heaven Hill. I think all 4 of those, or maybe not Heaven Hill, but Four Roses, Buffalo Trace, and Pepper were all given medicinal licenses to operate during Prohibition, which is pretty cool.
That was awesome.
And that's half of the distilleries that were given licenses because only
That's
6
pretty
were
cool.
given licenses,
And
and the other 3 don't exist
Yep.
anymore.
Many survived. 50% success rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say, if anyone's watching right now, the Wi-Fi here is not great. So if we're buffering a little bit,
Oh,
Yeah.
is it live?
it's we're buffering it.
I look better.
The video will be there.
I look better
one way
when
or
it
another.
buffers. Yeah, you don't want to see my man boobs. If it buffers, it's a little more. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on there. If it's clear picture, then I feel bad for you. But if it's buffering, it's fine. I don't mind it.
So yesterday was a lot of history. Today was a lot less history, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Four
think-
Roses is pretty
and
historic.
I will say, yesterday I was disappointed the amount of drunkenness level I reached, because on a scale of 1 to 10, I think during the tour the highest I got was maybe a 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
small, light
Yeah.
pours, not much going on.
Yeah.
But our tastings yesterday were much more tour heavy
Yes.
than they were today.
Very tour heavy. Yep.
Today we had. Oh, let's just jump into today.
It's the day 2.
So day 2 we had Bardstown, then Heaven Hill, and then
No,
Four Roses.
Was it?
We just left Four Roses.
Fuck, I don't remember. I'm drunk.
So yeah, we started
Four
off
Roses
at
was the
Bardstown.
Desposito one.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that. I've been drinking for 10 hours right now.
So,
So yeah, we started at Bardstown at 10:30. Was the first tour
10,
time?
10:30 was the first
10:30,
tour time. We were
We got there around
9.
9:45.
Yeah.
at an old fashioned.
So
If
we had
that,
old
yeah.
fashions beforehand,
Yes, we did.
which were peanut
Very well.
butter barrel aged old fashions.
Meh.
Which
I
they
liked them.
Meh.
it was a good old fashioned. I preferred the pepper one,
By
100%.
but I mean it was still a good old fashioned. It was well crafted.
It was. It was. I have no complaints.
But our tour guide said that they do a regular rotation where the staff actually gets to pick what ingredients go into the old fashioned, and our tour guides was a strawberry
Strawberry cherry. Yeah, strawberry
Yeah,
shortcake.
like a strawberry shortcake type old fashioned, which sounded excellent, but her month hasn't come up yet in the rotation.
Right.
But
What you're saying, it's not her time of the month.
no,
Yeah, no, you gotta wait 30 days. Yeah.
but so
And then it looks like strawberry.
Oh,
We just lost half of our listeners.
so anyway.
there's only one, and we lost him right now.
So anyway, Bardstown had cool little touches like that, where she said that only 200 people actually work there.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the quantity of barrels and output that they have,
shitload,
but
man.
it's astronomical.
I think it's like 250,000
They're
barrels.
the top. They're in the top 10 largest distillers in the U.S. and they've been open for less than 10 years.
Yeah.
I think I remember
so-
like 250,000 barrels that they have in their warehouses, and that's 250,000 freaking barrels. That's a shitload of barrels.
I liked
Yeah.
your conversion there.
Dude, if you convert it to centimeters, it's even worse. It's all about the girth.
But they're not
It's
only
the girth of the warehouse.
this is falling apart.
What else did you expect besides that?
I mean, we've been drinking for 10 hours. What the shit?
So Bardstown, very contemporary.
Yes. Modern as hell.
Like everything's run off of computer systems.
Yep.
There's one guy that runs fermentation, and one guy that runs distilling.
Yeah.
All off the computer.
Yeah. All of the computer. Yeah.
They have all custom mash bills.
Like over 50.
Getting information from the peanut gallery.
We have the peanut gallery on this side, and
Like what?
she is knowledgeable, so we'll welcome that. That's
There's
fine.
only one. They had 53 different mash
Yeah,
bills. they were running?
53 different mash
54.
bills.
54.
But all of those could be tweaked, she said.
Yeah.
So lots of contract distilling out of there.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought that, like, honest to God, I thought we were going to go there. It was going to be like one tiny warehouse
Yeah, I
of
thought so
just
too.
crap that they were importing from MGP and blending.
And blending, yeah.
And I was like,
Putting in a
I was gonna be like,
Cabernet or
oh,
some
cool, like a really like fancy looking like
Right.
visitor center, and like drink some like
Yeah.
Bardstown Fusion and Discovery, and be like,
exactly
okay,
what's
get out of
missing.
here.
Yep.
But no, it was they've been distilling since they opened. I think January is gonna be their first actual 100% Bardstown release.
Bardstown release. 'Cause right now
which-
they still blend some of it.
They'll call that
Yeah.
the Origin series.
Yeah, which is going to be the Origin series.
Orgies.
Which our tour guide said that since Fusion and Discovery #1, they've been increasing the amount of Bardstown distillate in every series release, which they're at #7 on each, I think, right?
The orgy
or maybe no,
series is
number
7
8
and 1.
on each?
The ratio of orgy series is like 7-1. It's good. Yeah, it's fine. I'm here for the gangbang. There goes the other 50%. There goes the other 50%.
Kyle, thank you for watching.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
So yeah, what else about Bardstown?
Just how like they compared it to Napa Valley,
Yeah,
where the cuisine, the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
yeah. There's like a full restaurant and bar.
Yes.
So they
Full experience.
What was interesting was they had bottles, contract distillation bottles for sale in their gift shop, so
That's
you
how
could
I found that
see
they
who's
contracted.
actually contracting there.
Yep.
Which
The ones that wanted it to know.
yeah, the ones that want you to know.
There was one that we were not allowed to say.
Yeah,
even though
there's
saw
one
the
that we
barrel
can't
head.
say, but they had Kentucky Owl contracts there, Blue Run
Highway.
contracts, some things there. The one they had in the gift shop was the Golden Rye, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Blue Run. I think you said that, yeah.
We tried that the other day.
Yeah, we did.
It's
That
a
was
really
great.
good, really good rye whiskey.
I was pretty blown away by Bardstown. It was my favorite, hands down. And I'll say, Four Roses was historic.
Yeah.
It's historic as hell. They have a nice, beautiful facility that looks like Spanish missions. I love that style of architecture. Beautiful history. Their equipment is just top notch. I mean, shit, it was great. It was a great facility.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, Bardstown just blew me away because I'm with you. I expected 2 warehouses and a lady saying, "Oh yeah, this is what we blend now."
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And you walk in there and it's a 40-foot tall still running.
There's a 40-foot
Yeah.
still, and then there's like, what, 12 warehouses full of barrels that they produce?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Holy
they had
shit.
5 fermentation tanks running.
Yeah.
So like they're constantly
yeah.
outputting.
That's a yeast infection waiting to happen.
God damn it. All right. Highlights for today.
Not Roberto.
Roberto already said Bardstown was his favorite.
I did.
Dan,
You guys
what
go.
are your thoughts?
You guys go.
Oh, it was hands down Bardstown. It was one, being blown away at how like modern and new age that facility is.
Yeah.
2, they did thieving again, so we got to take straight from the barrel.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
3, we started off drinking. Like, everyone else makes you wait to the end. They start you on your tour and end your tour
And
with
with a
alcohol.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably did the actual best tasting.
Hands
experience.
down.
I think so.
And I thought Woodford was good, but Bardstown was better.
It was the most shocking to, like I said, we've all said it was impressive. It was the most shocking to me. It was probably the best run tour. It was the most high tech tour.
High tech as hell.
It's new. Like, they don't try and disguise it. Like, they are not trying to be your grandpa's distiller. They are. They are
The
as
new
much
modern
technology,
man.
as much knowledge as they can get. They're putting into it.
Not even that, but
Science.
the amount of transparency there is
Yes.
like I'm a big fan of
yeah.
being transparent with
Same.
the mash bills and who you're distilling for
Yeah.
and or receiving product from. And like they print all of that on their labels.
It's right on the label.
They're not shy about telling you when they're allowed to. You know, oh yeah, we contract for all these
Yeah.
people. You know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, one of the things that I really enjoyed is the science. It's very, you know, it's a modern day distillery. It's scientific, based on data, based on computer codes. Because the guy, Eugene, the tour guide at Buffalo Trace was saying, well, the 2 master distillers, they come in, they mix, they don't like it, they try to, play with the profile. These guys, like, we just click a button.
Yeah.
Like, this is how it goes. We don't like this, we add some rye. We click buttons. I'm like, oh shit. There's something to be said for that. Now, there's something to be said for the history of
Well,
Buffalo Trace,
I
too.
mean, I'm sure that there's still some like manual blending that's
Right,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, there's something to be said for both. You know, the Buffalo
But I mean, like,
Trace-
there's even at Buffalo Trace, they said that they have a database
yeah,
where it's like, okay, these are the honey holes.
Yeah.
We want to make Eagle Rare today, so we know that Eagle Rare typically comes from these,
It's got these
5 or 6
profiles and-
places. So
yeah.
pull those